I told you that some of your favorite nonfiction books are doing completely different jobs, even if they feel similar when you're reading them? We often group gripping nonfiction together as just great storytelling, but there's a real difference between narrative journalism and investigative journalism, and looking at a few well-known books makes this difference really clear. Also, before I get into these, let me know if you have read any of these and if you have other recommendations. Let's start with The Lost City of Z by David Grann. This is a narrative journalism at its best. Grann reconstructs Percy Foss's obsessive search for the lost civilization in the Amazon, and he even retraces part of this journey himself. The book is built on research, but what pulls you through is the atmosphere, the mystery, and the sense of adventure. You are there in the jungle, and you can feel the obsession. Into Thin Air by John Krakauer works in the same way. Krakauer was actually on Mount Everest during the deadly 1996 disaster, and he tells the story both as participant and reporter, which gives it incredible immediacy. The power of this book comes from the lived experience, the tension, and the human decisions that were made under extreme pressure. It is carefully reported, but is driven by story. Now let's shift to Empire of Pain by Patrick Radden Keefe. This leans heavily into investigative journalism. Keefe digs into the Sackler family and their connection to the opioid crisis through documents, court records, and years of reporting. It reads smoothly, but at its core, the mission is about exposure and accountability. It is also about uncovering how power operates behind the scenes. And then there's the classic All the President's Men by Carl Bernstein and Bob Woodward. This is an investigative journalism at its purest form. This book shows how persistent reporting, confidential sources, and careful verification exposed the Watergate scandal. It may read like a thriller, but it's really about the process of uncovering truth. So here's the key difference. Narrative journalism helps you experience a true story. Investigative journalism works to uncover a truth that was hidden. The most powerful books often blend both, but understanding the distinction changes how you read them. So the next time you pick up a nonfiction book, ask yourself this: is this story inviting me into an experience, or is it pulling back the curtain on something powerful? I just gave you 4 different examples. What other books would you suggest that are either narrative journalism or investigative journalism? Let me know in the comments.